How we doing, everybody? Carmine here. Tonight we're going to be reviewing a brand new locomotive from MTH. This is the MTH Alco RS1 in the Amtrak paint scheme. So just some quick historical background on the Alco. The Alco RS1 was produced by the American Locomotive Company from 1941 all the way up until 1960. They were a series of road switchers, which, if you don't know what that means they could actually run freight, and they could also be used in railroad yards to move cars, build consists and things like that, as well as some, like I said earlier, light freight work. They were very, very reliable, and in fact, Alco made a bunch of different variations of this thing, I believe all the way up until the RS6, not 100% certain, but regardless, they're still out there. You guys can actually see these running in quite a few tourist railroads. In fact, the local railroad museum that I volunteer at, which is the Gold Coast Railroad Museum, we actually have an Alco RS1 on our roster that we were using for a while to pull our excursion trains. Unfortunately, it is down for maintenance, so we're hoping sooner or later that thing will come back up. Now, this model from MTH is a Railking model, but it is actually a Railking scale model. So the proportions, the details and stuff are way above and beyond what a standard Railking would be, at least in my opinion. The item number for this is 30-20867-1. They come in 4 different road names. So the one I have here is Amtrak. We also have Alaska, Chicago and Northwestern, and East Pennsylvania Railroad. Personally, I think the Amtrak is probably the slickest paint scheme. Now, Amtrak did use these locomotives to assemble passenger car trains and consists in their local yards for like the larger locomotives. So now onto the model. The item number for this model is MTH 30-20867-1. It is equipped with Protosound 3.0. It will navigate 031 curves. It has 2 flywheel-equipped motors, as well as an operating smoke unit and LED headlights. So, starting up here at the front of the locomotive, we have an operating proto-coupler on the front and the rear, die-cast metal steps with a separately applied coupler cut lever, separately applied metal handrails, as well as the bracing, and they're painted beautifully. They look so good. You have separately applied metal handrails, as well as a ladder, the operating LED headlight, and the beginning of that beautiful Amtrak red, white, and blue scheme. You also have lighted number boards on the engineer and the fireman side of the locomotive. You have a separately applied metal walkway, separately applied metal handrails up here, as well as all the way down the top of the hood of the locomotive. Having a look at the side of the locomotive, you have the continuation of the red, white, and blue Amtrak stripe. You have some beautifully molded in engine room doors, as I said before, the operating smokestack. Now this does have operating smoke, and the way you fill up the smoke unit is you pour smoke directly down the exhaust stack. Die-cast metal trucks with separate molded in detail, die-cast metal fuel tank, separately painted sight glass and fuel cap. You have that handrail that runs all the way up the length of the hood into the cab. You have hand-painted crew figures on the engineer and the fireman side. Cab window glass. The cab is lighted as well. We have the beautifully applied Amtrak name and the number 46 on the side, and the continuation of the handrails towards the back, as well as 2 more lighted number boards on either side. Now, one other thing I do want to point out about this thing. So, I don't know what MTH did. They had to have made a deal with the devil, because the silver that they do on all of their locomotives is just the most beautiful, vibrant silver. And don't even get me started on their plating. Their plating looks astonishing. But the video cannot possibly do this thing justice. The silver paint on this thing is beautiful. It's shiny, it's reflective almost, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. Coming around to the back of the locomotive, you have the continuation of the separately applied metal handrail. Some more metal handrails here, as well as the bracing, the operating proto coupler on the rear, the separately applied coupler cut lever, die-cast metal steps, the operating LED headlight, lighted number boards, as well as separately applied brake wheel and some separately applied handrails. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and start this locomotive up, and I will run through some of the sounds and features as well as the freight yard proto effects, and then we will run it around the layout. So here we go. thing I will say about Alcos is they have such an iconic sound to them. It's just a clunky mechanical motor noise. I love it. It sounds like a World War II submarine. Now, I do remember reading somewhere when these were starting to be produced in 1941, the power plants in these were almost identical to the power plants in the World War II era Gato class submarines. So I don't know if they were the exact same type of motors,
to check that out.
but they were very similar and they sound awesome. So the first sound we're going to do is the horn. Very simple single chime horn. The next one we're going to do is the bell. Snappy little air rung bell. I will fire the front coupler so you guys can hear the coupler noise. And as you can tell, the front coupler popped. And now I will do the freight yard proto effects. So hang in with me. It's a little bit long, but you'll be able to understand them and hear them.
All right, let's see what these orders have in store for us today. It says here we've got to move a string of reefers to track 5 for pickup.
They're loaded, so we'd better take care of that soon. What's next on the list?
There are some empties we got to spot on 6.
I hope we don't get in a jam like yesterday. There were cars all over the yard.
I know what you mean. No, it looks like an easy day for us today. All the trains are put together, more or less. We just have to spot them on the ready tracks.
That's good. Maybe I'll get home for dinner on time.
I won't make any promises on you being able to get home for dinner.
Let's just hope the switch tender is awake today.
Right. That guy had the yard backed up for hours yesterday. Was he new?
It's the boss's nephew.
I see. Well, we better get moving or we'll both be late for dinner. Let's go.
Everybody, I hope you enjoyed the video. This is a gorgeous model, and if you are interested in picking one of these up, please feel free to give us a call or check our website, www.readytorolltrains.com. These list for $369.95, and that is the price across the board for any of the road names. The road names we have in stock right now are Amtrak, Pennsylvania Railroad, as well as East Penn and Alaska. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.